My name is Angel. Welcome back to my channel. I just got my new bookshelf and set it up, put all my books on there, but I still have all of my TBR books to go through and put on the shelf. So I thought I would do a video going through my TBR because I love to watch videos where people talk about their physical TBR. They always have like such outrageous numbers. I don't think I have that much, but I've never counted. So yeah. Basically, it's these 4 books here, and then everything in this box is my physical TBR. I also have 3 books on the way that are going to add to my physical TBR as well. So I'm just going to show you every single book and maybe talk a little bit about how it came on my TBR, if I know what it's about, whatever. So let's go ahead and get started. The first one up here is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars. This is a sci-fi book. I don't even fully know what it's about, but I know that it's space sci-fi, which I really love. It is very long though, but I did tell myself that I was going to get to it this year, so I'll have to set aside some time later this year to read it. Then I've got some Book of the Month books. The Only One Left by Riley Sager. None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell, and The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. Now we get into the box here. So I have Petals on the Wind and If There Be Thorns, which is book 2 and 3 in the Dollenganger Flowers in the Attic series. I have already read these and then I got rid of my copies like years ago. So I thrifted these 2 and I still need to get Flowers in the Attic, and then I'm probably going to read through them again. Then I have Choke by Chuck Palahniuk. This one I found at a bookstore in Denver, and it is one of his more popular books aside from Fight Club, obviously. So I'm really excited to read this one. Then I have The Stolen Hours by Alan Eskins. This is the 3rd book in a detective series. So the first book is called The Life We Bury. The second book is called The Shadows We Hide. And this is the 3rd one. Then I have Pizza Girl, which I don't even really know the plot of, but I picked it up at the thrift store and I absolutely love the cover of it. I've seen a few people talk about it on Bookstagram, but I don't really know anything else about it. Then I have Ready Player One, which has been on my physical TBR for a while. I just have never gotten around to it yet. Then I have this book called Leech Girl Lives, which is a sci-fi book that I think on Goodreads only has 20 or so overall ratings. So you can probably tell I've never seen anybody talk about this before, but I saw it at the thrift store. The title intrigued me. I like sci-fi, so I'm going to give it a try. Then I have Britt Marie Was Here by Frederick Bachman. This is one of very few Frederick Bachman books that I have not yet read. I'm not sure if you can see the shelf next to me. This is my Frederick Bachman section. So I've got 5 books by him on there. This will be number 6 in that section. The next one is How Spacesuit Will Travel by Robert Heinlein. I don't really have a lot to say about this. I don't entirely know the plot, but Heinlein is a pretty well-known, I feel sci-fi author from back in the day. I have Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, which has been on my monthly TBR a couple times and I just haven't gotten around to reading it yet. I've got The Virgin Suicides, which I'm kind of scared to read just because I don't know. I've seen the movie and I'm not the biggest fan of it, and I feel it's just going to be a very dense book to read, so we'll see when we get to that. Then I've got Shutter Island, which I have seen the movie as well, so I know what the plot twist is, but I do want to read the book as well at some point. Then this was another thrift store pick. It is called Bad Ronald. The cover is so freaking weird, but it's basically a horror book about this kid who kills some lady, and then his mom is hides him in the house so that he doesn't get found out, but then she eventually dies and then new people move into the house. And I've heard it's very messed up, and I'd never heard of it before I got it at the thrift store. So I don't know. But look at that cover. It's so just strange. Then I have Sharks in the Time of Saviors by Kavai Strong Washburn. I don't really know too much about the plot of this, but one day I will read it. I have Touching Spirit of Bear in here, which is a book that I remember reading as a kid, and I just wanted to reread it, and I saw it at the thrift store, so I picked it up. I don't know if I will like it as much as I did when I read it as a child. Then I've got Requiem for a Dream, which I've seen the movie, fantastic movie, but it is one that really you only need to watch once because it sticks with you. So I'm excited to read the book. I've heard that it's even more graphic and disturbing than the movie is. So one of these days, when I'm in the right mindset, I will pick this up. Then I have Speak, which is another book that I have read already. I read it for school and I have been wanting to reread it, so I went ahead and picked this up. I think I also found this at the thrift store, so I just bought it. There's a receipt in here. I wonder if this is my receipt. Oh, that is my receipt. It's the thrift store receipt. It was $1.50, in case you wanted to know. Then I have Molokai. Don't have a lot to say about that one. Then I have Upgrade by Blake Crouch, and I also have Recursion by Blake Crouch. He wrote Dark Matter, which is one of my favorites. So I'm very, very excited to get to these eventually. Then I have Geek Love, which I heard is a disturbing book. I don't know if it's exactly horror, but I know that it's disturbing. And I actually almost re-donated this. I got it from the thrift store and I almost donated it back before I moved because I was like, I don't think I'm ever gonna read it. I don't know if I want to read it anymore. And then I saw more and more people talking about it, so then I took it back out of my donation box and it's here again. And I do want to read it at some point, but I feel like it's gonna be one that takes a lot of brain power to read. I feel like it's gonna be very dense and very difficult story to get through. Then I have A Court of Thorns and Roses. I don't read any fantasy, but I told myself that I would try this one day. I don't know when that day will be, but it's here and I'm gonna try to read it. I will make no promises on if I will enjoy it or if I will read the rest of the series, but it's here. Then I have this book, Long Climb Up to Find Home, which was written by a resident at the senior living facility that I worked at, and so he gave me this and I still have yet to read it, but we'll see. I don't even know what it's about. And then the three left in here are nonfiction books. I have Becoming Supernatural. They're doing yard work outside of the apartment complex, and I thought they were done because it had literally stopped for an hour, and then of course I start filming and they come back. So if you guys can hear background noise, I do apologize for that. Anyways, Becoming Supernatural is one that my sister got because she wanted to read it together, so one day we will get to it. I don't know when that day will be, but very excited for that one. Then I have This Explains Everything, Deep, Beautiful, and Elegant Theories of How the World Works. This one I've had my eye on for a while. I don't know if it's going to be philosophical or more scientific or really what approach this book is going to take, but I am excited to read it when I get there. And then the last nonfiction book I have is The Inner Life of Animals, which is a companion book to The Hidden Life of Trees, which I actually read and DNF'd earlier this year just because I didn't enjoy the way that one was written, although it was a topic that I was interested in learning about. So this is the same author. Like I said, it's a companion book to that one. So I'm still going to give it a try and see how I like it, but I can't guarantee that I will enjoy it based off of my feelings from the other book. So these are all the books on my physical TBR. Like I said, I do have 3 books coming in the mail to add to my physical TBR, and those are from Aardvark, which I just signed up for. This is my first time getting something from them. They're a book subscription service, so just like Book of the Month, but they ship to the US and Canada, and they had a promotion where you get your first book for $4. Their add-on books are only $9.99, so I went ahead and ordered 3 books. The first one I got was Mr. Magic by Kirsten White, which actually I have read that already, so that's not going on my TBR. That'll go on my shelf. The other 2 I have not read. That is Swamp Story, which I actually had checked out on Libby, but I didn't know when I was going to get to it, so I went ahead and returned that since I have a physical copy coming to me. And the other book that I ordered from Aardvark was The Chateau, which is a new release thriller that I've heard a lot about, and at first I wasn't very interested in it, but the more that I hear about it, the more interested I am. So I'm very excited, so that'll be 2 extra books on this physical TBR. I'm going to go ahead and count these and see how much books I actually have on my TBR. Okay, so right in front of me I have exactly 30 books. With the 2 extra that are coming, I have 32 books on my physical TBR. My Goodreads TBR is a whole other story. We're not addressing that. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have read any of these books and enjoyed any of these books, definitely let me know. If anything looks interesting to you, let me know. I love to hear other people's thoughts and opinions on books, and especially if it's one on my TBR that you guys have read, please tell me if you loved it, because then that'll make me more excited to read it, and then I'll get to it sooner, and we just gotta help each other out here to crush our TBRs. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully I will see you next time.